All right. Welcome everyone to the
We
first
started?
episode. Yeah, we started. Yes,
Okay.
we started. Oh wait, do like one headphone on, one headphone off.
Okay.
Welcome everyone to the first episode of the Film Slice podcast. I'm Isaiah, hopefully a future film student, with Sonia, who is a future
Okay.
film student. So yeah, today we will be talking about we are talking, but yeah, we're ranking our Marvel movies from worst to first, MCU movies. Someone's coming in. You wanna go? You wanna?
Want me to open it?
Yeah, go do it slowly. So basically, it's gonna go like this. There's gonna be five movies that we will be ranking, and then we'll do the next five, and then we'll do the next five, and then we'll do the three, and then we'll do the three. So I'm
Sounds
assuming
good.
that our not our worst, but our firsts are all pretty much the same films.
Oh, I'm scared.
Except you have one that you say is different. I don't know what hers is, and she doesn't know what mine is.
Yeah.
Also, we're joined with Divya, who's here. She doesn't have a mic though,
No.
so maybe in the future she'll be here. She's like our producer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um,
Ooh, I like that.
So yeah, make sure you're not too
Yeah.
far.
I realize that. now.
So do you want to take a guess at what my number one is? It's not like a hard film to
It's
guess.
hard. I don't know, because I feel like it could be something that's like super nostalgic.
True. So basically, I've been watching these movies since they first came out, and I've been a comic fan my entire life. While Sonia's a for new bandwagon type
Yeah,
of person.
2 summers ago I started watching like superhero movies in general. I hated them before, but so I don't have the same like outlook
So
as you do.
Yeah. So take a guess.
I'm gonna say like this is hard. I'm gonna say just because of what you told me, Iron Man.
Nah.
Okay.
But I love that film. I'm gonna assume. I'm gonna guess that yours is Guardians of the Galaxy.
We'll see.
I feel like I got it. But I don't know.
You'll be
So-
surprised.
My worst film is Thor: The Dark World.
Okay.
I don't have anything to say about that film because that film's garbage.
I
It's
disagree.
aesthetically okay. And the end credits scene is cool, but the rest of it is trash.
I love Loki, so any film with Loki in it,
Nah,
I
like
it's
Loki.
automatically
I like
good.
Loki, but that film's not good. My next film is Iron Man 2. Big fan of the first Iron Man. Not so much of the second.
I feel like that's like a theme with the Iron
Yeah,
Man movies. They just
it's-
gradually got
it's-
worse.
Well, clearly by my list, I think Iron Man 2 is the worst of them. But I think it sets up too much of the Avengers, and I love the Avengers, but it's not as much of its own film. Third, another sequel, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
It's just it's just James Gunn trying to throw in as many jokes as he possibly can
Yeah, I
into
don't
one
like the
film.
premise either. The like I didn't like what the conflict was.
Yeah. So, Iron Man 3, next one. It's a really good
Mm.
Shane Black film. I don't think it works in the MCU as well. I mean, there's not much to say about it. It's interesting, but not really
Yeah.
memorable.
Yeah, not memorable. I agree with that.
And then to round out my worst 5 is the first Thor, which honestly I could flip flop with my next film, but I'll save. It's Kenneth Branagh, who's like of Shakespeare fame, and other acting fame, and so I don't really know if he was the right choice for this film,
yeah.
but I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It clearly Marvel decided to go away from that type of Thor before,
Yes.
or in the later movies, so you know.
Especially the most recent ones.
Yeah. So, what is your worst
Okay.
5 films?
My absolute worst is Hulk, mainly because I couldn't finish it. Like I was so incredibly
wrong.
bored, and I don't know. I was the wrong actor choice in my opinion. I love Mark
really-
Ruffalo.
Okay. Which one did you watch them in order? Is my real question.
Yes,
wanted
I
to
did
talk
watch
about
them in
this.
order. I did
But
watch
had
them in
you
order.
seen Mark Ruffalo before you saw Incredible Hulk?
Yes, I'd seen him in Spotlight.
No, in other Marvel movies. Did you see
No.
him? Did you watch Avengers? Okay, because I actually prefer Edward Norton over Mark Ruffalo.
Really?
In terms of Bruce Banner, okay, maybe as of recent, in the way they've done Hulk in like Avengers, Infinity War, and Thor Ragnarok, but before that, I thought Edward Norton was a better choice because he was able to show the tension and the
Okay, I
angst
agree.
in between
Yeah.
in Bruce Banner's character, because you know he's like this haunted dude,
Mhm.
and I think Mark Ruffalo is like a very lovable guy, and that Edward Norton was just pulled that off better.
Yeah, I definitely think that Hulk movie had a lot darker themes than
Yeah.
where the MCU has gone
again,
now.
That's one of my nostalgic films where it's like I was 5 watching that movie.
Yeah.
When Hulk rips apart the car and uses them like boxing gloves, I've recreated that scene so many times as a kid. I had an Abomination action figure, so that's my stance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I couldn't finish it. It didn't catch my attention. The next one is Iron Man 3. Honestly, Iron Man 3, then Iron Man 2. Like, I hate the Iron Man movies in general. I feel like, I know this is a weird, like, critique, but I feel like they're too loud. Like, there's too much happening. Whereas I feel like the pacing has gotten better as, like, the MCU has progressed.
Yeah.
It's just too much action.
I wouldn't say that, like, because none of the franchises, honestly, except for Avengers, have a cohesive tone. But Iron Man doesn't have a cohesive tone, and it doesn't have, like, a working, like, through line.
Right, right. Yeah, so it's pretty much it goes Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, and then Iron Man. That was, like, the best out of the three was, I guess, the first Iron Man.
It's the establishing movie.
I know, but, like, I just don't like, maybe it's my liking of movies. I don't like movies where there's too much happening in a short span of time. Especially, like, in Iron Man, like, the first, like, let's say, like, 45 minutes is so much. And then it just continues the story, which I get why they did that, but it was just, like, for me, I like a nice spread out story.
I just think that first Middle East sequence where he's got the silver suit, it's a lot like the first comic book.
I mean, I like how they, like, developed his character. Him and Pepper Potts. I love those two, like,
true. They
together,
have a good dynamic. She doesn't really serve a purpose, though, which is my biggest thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought the actors' choices were great, but just, like, the storyline wasn't my favorite. And then my, like, fifth, like, in the worst bracket would be just Thor, because that was my least favorite Thor movie. I don't know. I didn't like I don't know, something about it.
Thor: The Dark World is so bad.
Disagree, but I think Thor was worse than Thor: The Dark World, just because I don't think they gave Chris Hemsworth a very good, like, I feel like Thor Ragnarok, Thor's personality there is so much better than the original Thor.
It's a complete 180.
Yeah, and that's because they gave him so much more freedom with the character. So I think it did a lot better.
All right, so my next 5, starting off with Doctor Strange. That movie's kind of, I mean, I'm a really big Doctor Strange fan. Big fan of The Oath by Brian K. Vaughan. Recommend that. But that movie's just kind of bland, and his character kind of just goes from a cocky rich doctor to a cocky, like, magician? Doctor of magic. So yeah, and the whole Dormammu thing, I mean, it's entertaining, but I suppose it's not realistic to the comics, which I guess is just the inner nerd in me, like, no, that's not gonna happen. Next, I have Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think that movie had unfair pressure on it because it was coming off of Infinity War, but also I think if you're gonna put any movie after Infinity War, you would put that one because it's such a small scale compared. I guess.
True, I guess. Yeah.
So Ghost in that movie is really, really cool. This is probably where, like, my list takes a turn from movies I dislike to movies that I just like more. And progressively go more. And so I thought it was just an enjoyable film, but there's nothing special about it. Next is the most recent Marvel film, Captain Marvel. I think Brie Larson was a solid choice.
I disagree.
She didn't have much to do in the film in terms of character arc, but the film itself was good. Ben Mendelsohn stole the show for me. His character is amazing. I'm not going to spoil anything. And Nick Fury is really good in that movie. Yeah. Definitely Samuel L. Jackson's best
CGI
Marvel
was
film.
so good. That was crazy.
That one's quality. And then next is the first Captain America film. This used to be a lot higher on my list. I used to love this film so much.
I love all the Captain America films.
But then I just started rewatching Marvel movies, and I realized it's really good, but it's not, like, great. The lights just went out in this room. That scared me. But it's not. It's just a really good film. It's one of the Phase 1 Marvel films, so
yeah,
I really enjoy it.
It was a great introductory, I think, to Captain America.
The aesthetic is really cool. I really like the suit in that. It's very military-esque. And yeah. And then next is Incredible Hulk, which, honestly, now that I'm looking at this should have been higher for me. But,
really?
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
We'll leave it here, though. I really like this film. I just really like everything about it. I loved Hulk as a kid, so when this movie came, I was disappointed as heck by that Ang Lee movie. It's kind of gross looking, too vibrant, but the Incredible Hulk film does things very well. I think it just pulls it off. He's a grotesque monster, which he should be if you're actually looking at it. And it just works really well. I already said about all the Abomination stuff that I liked. So yeah, that's my next 5.
Yeah, for me, I kind of wish I grew up like reading comics and like being introduced to that, because I feel like I'd see this a lot differently. But my next worst one was Captain Marvel, mainly because I just don't like Brie Larson as an actress. I don't think she's very good.
Have you seen Short Term 12?
No.
Watch that movie.
Okay. But I don't know, something about her. I also feel like it's maybe not her fault necessarily in this movie. I felt like the writing, the dialogue was just so cheesy, and like, I don't know, I don't think the writing was very good. Also, I know this is probably, we discussed this, but this is probably not where they were trying to go with this, but I kind of wish they made a love interest between the commander and her. I feel like that would made like everything so much more interesting. Like the whole when I don't want to spoil it, but
Law's character, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like I feel like that would be so good. Like, cause I think they kind of hinted at it that they like each other, but like,
don't want to spoil this.
Yeah, exactly. But they don't have a love. I don't know. It was kind of confusing, and I wish that they would have made that like solidified. I feel like that would have made a much better like conflict. After that, Spider-Man: Homecoming, mainly because it's not memorable for me. I honestly don't remember anything that happened in that movie.
So
and
it's
I saw it in
lower
theaters.
on your list than it is for mine. I thought you were gonna have it higher.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I also did not like. I've never been a big Spider-Man fan in general. So I think that has to do with it. Especially, I feel like it has to do with all of it, how much you enjoy the characters and feel connected with them.
Sure.
Then after that, it would be Guardians 2, mainly because the whole like dad thing, I don't know, it wasn't anything
Ego
like special.
They wasted Ego the Living Planet.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's nothing special. I feel like there's many more plot lines that's been in MCU that's much better than that. Then it's Thor: The Dark World, and the only reason it's so high on that list is because I love Loki. Like, Loki's my favorite character in this entire universe.
So many better movies with Loki.
I'm very excited for the Disney like streaming show thing. I cannot wait for that. But the only reason is because I feel so attached with the character.
True.
I think it's really.
I think I like Loki. But I think, like, compared to the rest of the world, I just don't love him as much.
Really?
Everyone's like, Tom Hiddleston's the most like important character in the MCU.
Yes,
and I'm just like,
that's me.
I'm just here like, he's cool, but honestly, I could do without him sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like how
he's really good in like Ragnarok and stuff. But
his character. I just love how he's like angsty, but also like loving at the same time, and it's like he's like an internal battle, and I think that's so good.
True.
And then number 12 on my list would be the Avengers movie, just because I don't know, I think there's better Avengers movies than that, but it's not a bad one. This is like same as you, getting to the ones like I like, but there's certain ones I like more.
That's a little tough. Okay, so moving on to, I think this is my 11th, so we went a little far. Spider-Man: Homecoming. Tom Holland. He pulls it off well, does it really well. There's too much Iron Man in that movie.
I agree with that.
Too much Iron Man.
Yeah. Saving the day constantly.
I think it's a good film. Very John Hughesy. Zendaya's in it. Zendaya's in it. And then moving on, Ant-Man. Ant-Man's a great film in my eyes. It's so good. I do have a problem with the villain. It's like the Iron Man thing where it's just a better Ant-Man, but Ant-Man turns out to be the better hero.
Oh yeah, I guess.
But I think the heist film works really well. The effect of shrinking up and down is very interesting.
Yes.
The fight with Falcon, I think that was a really good tie to the MCU that wasn't like campy and cheesy and like
jarring,
in your face. Yeah. And I think it just worked overall as a very cohesive film that fits into the MCU nice. Next is Age of Ultron. It's my least favorite Avengers film.
Oh, really?
But not to say it is a great film.
I love
It's
that.
mad underrated in my eyes. People roast it for having those weird scenes. Like,
Oh, I love that scene when they're sitting around on the table and they're like, and then Captain America, like with Thor's hammer, and Captain America,
oh
like,
no, that everyone likes that scene.
I
I'm
know,
talking
but
about
that's
the
my
scene where,
favorite
like,
scene.
Thor's
That's like
in
one
a
of my
hot
favorite
tub and
scenes.
stuff. Like, where did that come from? I have a problem with that scene too, but I think the rest of the film works. James Spader's voice is so menacing.
Yeah.
Like everyone remembers I have strings. No more strings on me.
Mhm.
That
That's
just
so
gives me
good.
chills.
Yes.
Watching that first trailer. Oh, that was one of the finest
Mm-hmm.
experiences in my life. Next, Black Panther. It's a good film, very good film, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Big fan of the culture. The album that came out from it.
Set design was amazing.
Set design was very
Costume
good. The costuming
design.
was great. Michael B. Jordan, great. He's
Yeah, I
even better
agree.
in The
Very good
Wire.
villain.
That's my one Wire reference of every episode. But I think it's just like everything on it hits at a great level, and so it's up here. Then next, the first MCU film, Iron Man. That movie, legendary experiences tied to that film. I told you the story yesterday. Have I told you the story? 8-year-old Isaiah Vivero on his on his vacation to Reno, and like there's casinos and stuff. So I'm like, why am I here? Like there's nothing for me to do. Iron Man comes out, like, yo, let's see this. Grab my big, like, it was like an 8-inch diameter cookie. Sitting in the theater, just yomping on that cookie.
Oh
I had
my
just
God.
seen Wall-E, so I was mad disappointed by that.
8-year-old mad disappointed by Wall-E.
Wall-E is one of the most pretentious
Are you
films
kidding
I've
me?
ever.
I love Wall-E.
Even as an 8-year-old, I'm like, yo, I don't need you critiquing me just in this animated Pixar movie. Go back to making Toy Story.
What critiques?
Wall-E is so pretentious.
Did I not catch any of this?
The whole thing with people in their chairs and stuff, they're like, oh, all of society is just gonna be electronic based and y'all are just gonna get fat.
Oh, really? Is that what the point? I thought it was just funny.
What?
I didn't catch any of that. I did not catch any of that.
What? Have you seen the movie?
Yeah.
The whole thing with the trash planet? That's supposed to be Earth because we're destroying
Yeah.
our environment.
Yeah.
I get
Is
the
that not
message.
a problem with that?
I agree with the message. I didn't need to see
I
that.
see.
I did not
At
need
his
to
8-year-old?
I did not need to see that in my Pixar film.
I see.
So then, I see Iron Man. Mind is blown.
Mm.
One of the sickest experiences ever. All right.
Okay.
What
My
is your
number my number 11 is Black Panther. I thought it was a good, like you said, good movie, great costume. Like the world building, in my opinion, like Wakanda is such an interesting world, and it's like it's really cool. What?
Wakanda forever.
Okay, of course. I thought it was really cool. I think the whole Oscar thing though
Yeah, it did not
did
deserve a
not
Best
need to
Picture.
be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar. The costume design for sure, in which it won. The soundtrack, all of that deserved, but Best Picture, I feel like there's a lot more better. Like if you were to choose any film in the
If
MCU,
Beale Street
there's
could talk.
there's so many better like things they could have chosen like in the past that I feel like this was like kind of like a forced thing. Then Guardians of the Galaxy. I think this was
That low?
actually
Oh, so I was wrong.
no, yeah, you were wrong, but this was I think
Why
the-
do I? Okay, now I know. I feel like I know by the look when I said one of my movies. I feel like
no, we
I
haven't
I
discussed the
haven't
one.
s- oh,
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Oh.
think Guardians of the Galaxy was the first film I watched from MCU before I started to go back in order. And I actually really liked it. I think it's a good film for people who aren't like super interested in superhero movies and they want something good starter. I feel
It's
like you
very
could
disconnected from the
yeah,
rest of the
I
MCU,
feel like you could
which makes
definitely
it help.
start here. And I like how they make connections in Captain Marvel from Guardians of the Galaxy. That was really cool. And then I also like the connections in Infinity War. I think it seemed disconnected at the time, but now it's like makes
Yeah,
perfect
it fits
sense, which is
perfectly.
great.
It's the only film that's set in space, so it's not like
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah. Winter Soldier is my number 9. I love that movie. But like we were saying before, now it's just movies I like better. But I love Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier. So good. And I love the relationship between Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I think that's like some of the best chemistry ever. Then it goes to Ant-Man and the Wasp. I love Ant-Man as a character, and I love the universe like made with him. I didn't actually watch this one in the theater. I watched it on a plane. So it wasn't something I feel like unfortunately like the Ant-Man movies are in some like films that are like, oh, you have to. If you're not like as
I
a
think
crazy a
Ant-Man
fan.
really helps if you see it in theaters though, because just the whole shrinking.
Yeah.
thing.
I
on the big
guess.
screen is like insane.
Yeah, I love what's the wasp's real name? I forget.
Evangeline Lilly of Lost fame
Yeah, so
and Hobbit fame.
okay. I think her and then like the relationship between Wasp and Ant-Man is like really cool, and I like that a lot. I think I don't know. I like her sarcastic like character and the way she goes about things. I really like her as a character. And then number 7 would be Ant-Man. Once again, great movie.
Baskin Robbins is always watching.
Baskin Robbins, I have that sticker.
Yes.
Baskin Robbins always finds out.
Yes, that's a quality quote.
It really
All right.
is.
My 6th best film, Winter Soldier. The fight scenes in that film, so sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best. I mean, the Captain America franchise is like hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, yeah.
No other franchise can really pull that off. And it works so well. It's straight like assassins.
Mm-hmm.
I really want a rated R Captain America film.
Oh, that would be so
like,
sick.
If it was like have any of you seen The Raid?
No.
It's like this kung fu movie, or like not really. It is kung fu, but it's a martial arts film mostly. And they have like this 15-minute just like prison mud field scene.
Yeah.
Where it's just straight fighting and just anger and blood, and it's a very amazing scene. Well done. And if Captain America was in that, like in a war scene,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. Like if the first Captain America was rated R, that'd be sick.
That would have been very cool.
Next is Guardians of the Galaxy. That was like Guardians of the Galaxy at one point was probably my favorite film in the MCU. I saw that in theaters 4 times.
Oh my god.
Um,
Yeah, no.
yeah.
I saw that on my iPad.
So I had the action figures when I was super young, and then I always loved the characters, and they're the most obscure characters. Like they weren't even in the Marvel video games, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
And then the movie came out, and I was like so excited.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it was all the characters I had from my action figures as well. So that I love that film. It was so much nostalgia.
Yeah.
And then to round out my number 4 is Thor Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is insane. It's
so
insane.
funny.
In a great
I've never
way.
laughed more.
It's really funny.
It's hilarious.
The whole Hulk Thor dynamic, the way they just rejuvenated Thor as a character. 'cause
Yes.
I never really
cut
vibed
his
with
hair.
him. Yeah, I never really vibed with him before that. Even in the Avengers movies, like he was always cool and always powerful, but it wasn't even like that great to watch. I never had fun watching Thor. So the way they just improved that, I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah. Oh, and Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Valkyrie's
I love
sick.
that too. Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum as well. So,
Okay.
yeah. What is your 64?
6th is Age of Ultron, mainly just because of Ultron itself. I feel like that's one of the coolest villains. It's like so creepy and like yeah, like that like it's terrifying cuz like it can be everywhere. That sequence, and I think it was edited. Well, that's some of the best editing in the MCU. I think was Age of Ultron.
That first trailer as well. I've never been.
Yeah.
There. I remember that trailer came out, and then I think when that movie started to come out, was in theaters, the Force Awakens trailer came out, or did they come out at the same time? Those both those trailers. Because I remember that first trailer for Avengers: Age of Ultron came out pretty close to when the Force Awakens trailer came out, because the Force Awakens trailer came out really far ahead, and they both had the whole I had strings thing, and then there's been an awakening.
Yeah.
Can you feel it? And
Yeah.
so like yeah.
I don't know. I think the reason I love it so much is the editing, and I also like the relationship between the Avengers. I feel like that's like really interesting to see.
And they add War Machine.
Yeah,
Falcon.
and
and Scarlet Witch.
Yes,
and,
which I really like her character.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Number 5 is Doctor Strange. I love I like Doctor Strange as a character. I don't know why. I think I agree with you that he's like arrogant pretty much. There's no real big character change. But I don't know. I like I've always liked magic growing up. So like some kind of magician superhero is just like really interesting to me. And I really liked him as a character and his acting. Oh my god. Benedict Cumberbatch is one of my favorite actors. He's amazing.
Really good.
It really
Sherlock
is
a masterpiece.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so Age of Ultron was 1 month before the teaser for Star Wars. Thank you, producer.
And then number 4 is Captain America: First Avenger. I have seen that movie I think 10 times. I love old timey
Yeah,
Like,
period piece.
yeah, I love those. And the whole part where I think it ends perfectly and it gets like you hooked in. I feel like that really got me hooked into like the MCU and wanted to continue watching.
You can watch the MCU in chronological order of when the films were released, or also like timeline wise.
You could, yeah. I did it on the order they were released.
Yeah.
But I just love like I also that's like one of my favorites. It really is one of my favorites. And then, I'm forgetting his name.
Hugo Weaving?
No,
Chris
who
Evans?
plays? Yes,
Oh
Chris.
my God.
I love Chris Evans. He's like, I just watch all the press tours for Captain America over and over and over again because I think he's such a funny person.
I saw Chris Evans in real life.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he had a Broadway show, and I
Yeah.
was
You had the
walking
mustache
by.
thing,
Yeah.
right? That was
yeah,
terrifying.
he did not. But the better one that I met was Brian Tyree Henry. If any of you know who that is, he's from Atlanta. He's a real
Oh.
G.
I want to watch that show actually.
Paperboy. All about that Paperboy. Okay. Continue.
Yeah, so that's my 65.
All right.
4.
So you want to go back and forth for our 3, 2,
3,
1?
sure. Let's do that.
Wait, I'm confused. What movie haven't you said yet besides these two? Okay. Am I missing one? Okay. My third film is Infinity War.
Okay.
It's just it's everything I ever wanted from.
That was emotionally
from a movie.
hurting me.
I didn't cry because I think we
I
all
did.
knew that they were coming back. The Spider-Man scene was cool,
That was the most painful thing I've ever watched.
but like,
And I hate Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's like, he's coming back. The Groot one was kind of emotional though.
Oh, really?
That film is just insane. It's so bonkers, and I don't know how do you describe it in like less than a minute.
Yeah.
I just think everything about that film is very well done.
Yeah.
What is your third?
Thor Ragnarok. Mainly
Oh.
because I've never laughed. I don't like comedy movies. I've never laughed more in my entire life. I think
So you don't have a soul.
okay. Yeah. No. I think how they improv certain scenes that were like the best scenes in the movie.
Taika.
Literally is so good, and I love Loki in that movie so much because he's like he's sort of like a good character for once, and that's like really nice to watch.
For,
Like
the last 20%.
yeah,
of
I
the
know,
movie.
but it was so cute, and like their little brother and get help, and like
Yeah.
I think that stuff was so funny, and it was like really nice to see Thor in like in a less serious way.
Sure.
And I loved Hulk and Thor together. I think that's the funniest like team like matchup I've
Oh,
ever
we
seen.
haven't even mentioned Hela. Hela was sick in that
Oh,
movie.
that's Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
Oh my
Of
god.
Lord of the Rings fame.
So good. She like her like
Her hair. I didn't think they were
Yes.
gonna do the full headdress, and
That
then they
was
did it,
sick.
and I was like mind blown.
the dog got on my nerves though.
Oh, the big wolf.
Yes.
Thing? What? It's literally in there for like
I know, but I was like,
a
really?
minute.
I feel like she should have been like the one to
It
like.
has a minute of screen time.
I don't care.
It literally all it does is fight Hulk and then it's thrown
I
in the
know.
water.
But was that necessary?
It was some pretty cool visuals.
I guess, but they kind of annoyed me.
All right, my second film. Do you want to guess what my second one?
I don't remember. Is it Civil War?
My second film?
Yeah.
No, is Avengers, the first one.
Okay. Oh, that's so
Um,
interesting. Mine's like that's so much lower on my list.
I saw that movie. You guys thought Guardians of the Galaxy was. I saw that 4 times in theaters. You're like, oh,
You
that's
what?
it.
You saw
That's a
7?
little unnecessary. Saw it 6 times in
Okay,
theaters.
Close.
It's I don't. Yeah, it's it's basically one of my favorite movies ever, along with my number one. The first time these characters come together, straight amazingness. That
Yeah, I
fight
agree.
with Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, where they fight against each other,
Mhm.
is like everything I ever wanted. And a little bit of why my number one is my number one. And then like there's 3 main sequences. You get the last battle of New York, that first
Oh, that was
battle,
really cool.
and then the helicarrier where they're all trying to like stop each other, and then
Yes.
Hulk does that cool thing with
Yeah.
this film is amazing. It's a symphony of nerdiness.
I bet. Yeah.
Just filmmaking, pure, like divine cinema.
hmm
Yes.
My number 2 is Infinity War. So I like that. I've never felt more emotionally scarred and hurt in my entire life. I hate Spider-Man as a character, and he dies, and I've never cried more.
Okay.
Well, I never like I was not attached to that, and all of a sudden I'm crying because he's like that was so good, and I heard that was also improv, but so like that was insane. And that's like there were Iron Man and Spider-Man's like relationship together was so like sad and heartbreaking to watch, and he just wanted to help, and now like you're just stuck thinking like Iron Man's floating in space, even though in the trailer
He's
we
in
see
a
him.
planet. He's not
No,
floating.
Well,
in
he
space.
has to get back on, like he has to get.
Yeah.
Like, he's in space.
But he's not floating in
Well,
space.
he's gonna have to somehow get back to.
There's some terrestrial-like planet around him. We took astronomy. We
Oh,
know
there
there's
you go.
life out
Oh, yeah,
there.
that really. Oh, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the relationships and like everything. I just love relationships in movies, and Infinity War had like all the relationships.
That's cool. Also, a thing about Infinity War, the Rocket Raccoon Winter Soldier relationship, unexpected, but made perfect sense.
Yeah.
But made perfect sense.
Yeah. The battle scenes were insane.
Yeah. My number one, Civil War.
Yeah, we have the same number one.
What
Isn't
the
that
hell?
crazy? That's crazy.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. Okay, because you said it wasn't an obvious pick. And Civil War for me was my obvious number one.
Bro, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
That'd be something more like.
Civil War. I did not see it 6 times in theaters. I only saw it 3
I saw it
times.
4 times in theaters. I really
wow.
like Civil War.
She actually beat me on one.
Oof.
Yeah, I think Civil War just came at a time where I was really busy too.
Oh yeah, I did.
That movie.
It was during we had a project in math.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that movie is. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That
I
fight
just-
scene, that last fight scene,
The
Iron
airport
Man,
battle.
Oh, that was so good.
The individual fights that take place in the airport battle.
Under
and,
Ruse?
Giant Man comes out,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I've never. So I was sitting next to my dad, and Giant Man just forms, and I literally went like, yeah.
That's the
and
best
just straight
secret.
Elbowed my dad, and then he was like in pain. But aside from that, Giant Man, that's like my most memorable scene from that movie.
Yeah.
Is I love that character. I watched the animated cartoon where he
Mhm.
was like always big. And then the fight with Spider-Man, Winter Soldier, and War Machine, one of the very good ones. And then Black Panther is introduced in this film.
Yes, and that was
I'm
great
a mad
introduction.
Black Panther fan. Like
Great introduction.
Black Panther is lower on my list,
Yeah.
but I love the
As a
character,
character,
before that. And he's insane. His toe-to-toe battles with Captain America
Oh,
are
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And the way this film opens, Captain America did not skip leg day. We'll say that. He straight kicks the crap out of some people. Literally, he kicks a car,
Yeah.
and the car just hits someone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is this the helicopter one?
yeah.
Oh my.
his bicep.
You know he actually that's an actual that's not CGI.
Yeah, but, I mean,
He
it's-
hurt
it's-
his. He
I mean,
actually
he's not
hurt
like.
his.
He's not,
Well, I
it's
know,
not, the
but he-
helicopter's not flying
Yeah,
away.
I know,
though.
but like he actually hurt himself, like trying to. That was so good. I also really like.
such an unnecessary bicep shot. in that
Yeah,
film,
but
though.
like so he actually I watched an interview. He came up there with leather jacket, and they were like, no, you're taking the jacket off.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to see the biceps. But the main reason why it's my number one is that I actually bought a T-shirt. I remember off Redbubble that was Team Cap, like shirt, because I was obsessed. I loved Captain America obviously above Iron Man. So that fight scene, I remember fighting with everyone. I'm like, Captain America's gonna win. He's gonna win, and he technically really did win. That was really good.
Yeah,
That's
Captain America almost went for. Captain America got dark in this movie. real quick.
yeah, and I love that for him.
I liked it.
I love that for him.
He almost killed Iron Man. Which I knew
Yeah.
he wouldn't do, but like if he did, that could have been some
That
interesting
team,
dynamic.
like Winter Soldier, like passed the shield, and then
yeah,
that
Winter
was so
Soldier's sick
good.
in this movie. But if he just like, technically, what if he just like
killed Iron Man.
Killed
That would have
Iron
been
Man.
awful.
and would have been like, oh, it was, couldn't control myself, and then like he still goes into that beast mode where he grows out the beard. He turns into Nomad from the comics, and he's like, oh, I can't be a hero anymore. And then Thanos is like,
I love
he's
the
like-
ending.
and then
Just
he's
want to say
like,
that.
I gotta do it for Tony. But no, Tony's still alive.
Yeah, he really is.
Not for long though.
Yeah, that's true. Are you
'cause-
predicting he's dead?
I'm predicting. Iron
I'm
Man
predicting
and
he's
Captain
gonna go away
America.
for a very long time.
I don't think I think Captain America's gone.
Me as well.
sure.
Thor. I think Chris Hemsworth has also discussed, said
Nah,
that he
Thor's
does not want
staying.
to. He said he doesn't want to play Thor anymore.
I don't know about that. Thor's definitely staying. Just put that out there.
I'm
Thor-
gonna be really sad.
Thor's
if
gonna.
Captain America
Here's
dies.
my prediction. Iron Man can't stay. Probably is good. Iron Man, if he doesn't die or if he dies, won't be surprised by either. Black Widow's gonna stay around. 'cause we know
Yes, she has a
movie's
solo
coming.
movie.
Thor's gonna stay around and he's gonna join the Guardians of the Galaxy,
Oh, I could see that.
and that's gonna
That's a
be
good
that's gonna
prediction.
be insane. He could take Hulk with him. I don't know.
I don't
want him
think
to
he
turn
would. I
into.
don't think he would.
I want him to turn into Professor Hulk though, where he's in Hulk form the entire time, but he's talking like he's Bruce Banner.
That'd be funny. But I think they're gonna try to take this seriously, like take this in a very serious route.
Yeah.
So I don't think they would add that comedy.
And then obviously Avengers movie is gonna be Black Panther, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Vision, probably
Spider-Man.
not. Spider-Man, yeah. Whoever
Captain
they'll
Marvel?
add. Captain Marvel. I just realized that's a really strong team.
That is a very strong team.
Captain Marvel, Black Panther, on the same team. That's insane.
Yeah.
Imagine if Captain Marvel is just like carrying
The
Black
team.
Panther through the sky and then just like
Oh.
drops him down and just
That'd be very cool. I agree.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
In Avengers: Age of Ultron, when Bruce Banner he sees Wakanda and he doesn't know how to pronounce it, so he says Wakanda.
Is that really? I never caught that.
Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
See, who's the real nerd here?
Yeah.
Davey, is there anything you
I'm
would like to
fighting you.
add to this list in terms?
Nothing to add. I do have a fun fact.
She
about
says.
Thor.
Okay.
She says she has
Yes,
a fun
I
fact
want- I
about
want the fun
Thor
fact.
Ragnarok.
It's a little bit of lore for Taika.
Lore.
Waititi.
You can come to the mic.
Taika,
if you
I
want.
love Taika. He's such a cool director.
I'm gonna scoot in on this mic and awkwardly hover above it. Okay, so in What We Do in the Shadows, which is one of Taika Waititi's first movies, like independent movies, he like there's just this guy who's like a human, and like the entire like story in that is about vampires. So like there's a human, and he's just kind of this random guy. Like he was on Tech Crew, and they just like hired him to act. And then he like got
What a day for that PA.
Yeah.
Like literally
And then
like
he ended up being like one of the main characters, and then they got that same guy to do the lighting in the Valkyrie scene in Ragnarok.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is really cool. We didn't even touch about that Valkyrie scene. I love that scene.
Oh, me as well.
Visually, that scene is stunning. So
Oh yeah.
I guess he's pretty good at lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Imagine you
Say
show
we
up to
do
work as a
this?
PA, and then they're like,
His
"Hey,
name is
you're
Dave?
gonna star in the movie now."
Oh, Korg.
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 I love Korg.
Yeah, Korg is that's a great film. It's my fourth.
Korg.
So, you know,
I want you for
for
Team
Team
Cigar.
We're gonna start the revolution. What? I already
I
mentioned
love
Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. He's
Oh!
so crazy.
Nerd time. They have Man Thing in the movie. They have those giant statues outside of where Hulk lives, and Hulk's face is one of the statues. They have the two-headed guy, I forgot his name, and then they have Man
I love
Thing.
the Easter eggs in all these movies.
Man Thing. Yeah, Man Thing has a shitty comic book though. Like recently, that was really bad. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap for our list,
it.
unless anyone has anything to add. So yeah, thank you guys all for listening to this.
Yeah.
And make sure to leave any suggestions for topics you would like us to talk about. This is the Film Slice podcast by film students, hopefully. And I will catch you guys all again next time.